Welcome to the Light of Sirio podcast. My name is Dori Fari and I will speak with a realized spiritual master about his views on life and the topic of spirituality.
Hazur Maharaj Sanji, you're my Sadgurus, I bow down to you. Hazur Maharaj Sanji, you're my Sadgurus, I love you. Hazur Maharaj Sanji, you're my Sadgurus, I adore you.
So we arrived now to a special number because we arrived episode 5 of season 5. And it's also interesting, we just arrived to 1985 in the story of Master Sirio, because last time we reached in his personal life story up to 1984 when Sanji came from India and gave a other program here in this beautiful Sambani ashram. Well, we also talked about several things with Master Sirio, like seva for the Master, seva for the Sadguru, and spiritual community, a possible spiritual community, and how people can collaborate with each other in service of the Master. So we talked about lots of things, but before we go on to the continuation of Master Sirio's story, and welcome dear Master here with me.
Here I am. Always present when you call me.
Oh, that's nice. I am happy to know this.
Like a soldier. Or like a servant.
I'm humiliated to say this. And so before we begin our conversation, I just would like to say that now the new volume 3 of Sirio's magazine is issued, and you can find it on the SirioSatsang.com website. It's free, you can read it online, and if you would like to have a paperback copy, you can contact me at the siriopodcast@gmail.com, such as you can send your questions for the next season, forthcoming season, which is going to be questions and answers again. And then also, as always, I say that you can listen to the Daily Guidance Meditation podcast, in which a new episode is published daily, early morning, so that you can help yourself with that in your meditation practice. And then if you would like to make your own personal experience, then you can come and participate in the intense meditation retreat, which is coming now in the autumn from the 27th of October. So if you are interested in joining last minute to see, let's see if there are some available places, you can contact me. And what I have to say, I think I said basically everything. And please, Master, then continue your story. How was it after the visit of Sanji here in the Sambani ashram?
To begin with, I want to talk about this magazine. So, during Master Kirpal time, they used to print a magazine which was called Satsang, which means the message of the saints. And It was a small booklet with some, how many? Maybe 20, 25 pages, 30 maximum now. And I don't remember exactly because I never had for many years now any of these magazines in my hands. Anyway, it was a very small magazine, and with just a talk of Master Kirpal, maybe a talk of Baba Savan Singh, and something written by Russell Perkins or some other person, an account, maybe somebody going to India, and that's all. That was it. And we were very enthusiastic getting this magazine, and everybody who was a lover of Master Kirpal was always anxiously waiting for the magazine to come and read the Master's talk and this and that. I was one of those. Then Sanji came, and another magazine was again published from Sambani Ashram, by Sambani Ashram in New Hampshire. The editor was Russell Perkins. The magazine was the same as Satsang Dash, just changed the name. It was a Sambani magazine. Same big or the same small. And same thing, talk of Sanji, one of Master Kirpal, something of Baba Savan Singh, and some few accounts here and there by people. So when Dori told me I would like to make a magazine, I thought she would make something similar to that, a small magazine like that. But the very first one was already double than what those magazines were. Plus the size is so much bigger, and so I thought, oh my, this is a big magazine. Then the second volume was made, and it was extended up to more than 60 pages, and I thought, this is becoming too much. You're spending so much time with this magazine. Cut it short. But no, it keeps becoming longer and bigger. So the third volume, it's not a magazine, I tell you. It's no more a magazine, it's a book. So it's more than 80 pages, and consider that it's a double size what a book is. So it becomes like 160 pages of a book. So it's a book. So I'm telling this because you should appreciate the work this lady is doing, and which is the best way to appreciate the work. To read the magazine, to have it paper, no, not just on internet, because it doesn't really, how to say, pay back to all the work which is being done by this person to make this magazine. So I would say people who love this situation, who love this satsang and this ashram and this work which you're doing, please get it paperback, because it's a way of respecting this big work which is being done for this magazine. And what does it mean? What does it mean? Work for the magazine. The magazine is meant for you, dear ones, to read it and refresh your ideas of the teachings, your learning of the teachings. And since we are not printing books, we are printing this magazine. And I tell you, better this magazine than the Bible, than the Quran, than the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita, because it's very well studied. You have words, means the teachings, the stories, whatever is being printed, and you have the photos which correlate with the story, and so it's very thoughtful, and so use it. It's being made for our use. Let's use it. Myself also. I also read it. I also get it paperback, and I also read it because it's very interesting for me as well. Said this, let's continue.
Well, I would like to come into play just for a moment. So thank you very much, dear Master, for your appreciation. That's, how to say, more precious than anything else. And, well, I feel a bit embarrassed that you praise me so much high, So
and mind you, don't think that she told me to tell these things. I decided to tell these things myself.
Yes, I feel very surprised now in my plans, in fact. And I wanted to say one thing that, and I really mean it, it's not a fake humility, it's just, I mean it from my heart, that we say often on this path that we are not the doers, but he is the doer. So, dear Master, then I can claim it, as I wrote also in this magazine, in the ears of everybody now. I mean, in front of those who listen to this podcast, that I really dedicated with all my love and devotion it to you and to the great masters and to the teachings of this path. And I offer it to you, and it's I wouldn't like to take any credit for this for myself. I'm very happy that I could do it. It is true that it has been a really big work, like they would say in Italian, a bit massacrante, which I don't know how to say in English, like
crashing,
like a big sacrifice, really. But I'm so happy that I could do it, and I am very happy that you like it, and I hope that others will also like it. And that was my only purpose, to reflect anything of the beauty and the greatness that one can receive and experience on this path. So, thank you, Master, anyway, for your words. But as we are mirrors, then this appreciation I would like to, how to say, reflect it back on you.
Okay, so we go on with this podcast, and I would like to read a small part, a quotation from Master Kripa's writing. I think this was a letter to somebody in which Master wrote this thing, and I'm going to read it because it's really very important to understand how the path works and how we are meant to learn from the path, understand it, so that when we go through very intense learning processes, means very intense, difficult periods in our life, because these come to everybody sooner or later. So we will know that we are not going astray. We are not being punished by God. He is not Kal, or the so-called Mr. Negative Power that is giving us troubles. We are just going through a learning process, a difficult learning process, which is meant to transform us deeply. Because a small suffering, it's a small transformation. A big suffering, a big test in life, it's a big transformation. So if we want to really deeply transform ourselves, then at some point in our life, we may face tough situations. And I myself really went through very difficult and tough situations, so much that, in the beginning you may feel like the victim. Like, my God, I'm dedicating all my life to you. I'm doing so much for your mission, for your work. I'm so much cooperating with your work, with time, with money, with all my resources and my talents and everything. And how come my life becomes so difficult? I went through these situations, and I asked myself these things. And of course, when these things happen, most of the time we feel like the victim. We feel that we are being punished and for no reason. We don't understand why it's happening. But I assure you that nothing is for nothing. Nothing is by chance, and everything has a purpose. And if in your life, at some point you will go through a very tough situation, don't think the Master is punishing me, God is punishing me, why me, the victim, and this and that. Just think, what do I have to learn from this situation? This situation has come up in my life. It's a blessing. What do I have to learn? and try to learn it. And learn it in a way that you never forget it. And it becomes a transformative situation for your life. So here I'm going to read this part from Master Kripal teachings. He says, you have to withstand all of your karmas joyfully. And translate it from Italian. You should not complain for any suffering which is sent to you, because this shows that the Lord of Karma thinks that you are worthy of being helped. Even if it's very hard, you be grateful, because it's not harder, because it's not worse. You must remember that you are of very little use for the Master as far as your negative karma is not overcome and you are free of it. By offering yourself to Him, you have asked to finish off all of your karma, to make it quickly going. Therefore now, in 1 or 2 lifetimes, you have to go through whatever otherwise could last for 100 lifetimes. But to get the best benefit, you have to bear all of this with joy, with gratitude, with happiness. Karma may take away from you the people you love the most, those which are closest to your heart. Even then, keep being happy, ready to let go everything and everybody. Often the Master needs his servant in order to shower or transmit his strength to others, his blessing to others. The Master won't be able to do it if his servant is a victim of depression. Therefore, the light-hearted attitude, the joy, must be our rule.
As it's known from Master Kripal, he used to say often, go jolly.
Yes, go jolly in any situation, not just when it's easy to be jolly and when there are situations which make you happy. So when there are situations which make you unhappy, then go happy. That's the challenge. So when you are with the Master and you are blessed and you are in good mood and you have good meditations, at the end of the meeting he says, go jolly. Very good, very easy to go jolly. But if you are being troubled by your mind, tested and difficult situations, and he says go jolly, then that's the victory. If you go jolly, if you're able to go jolly. If you don't go jolly, then you are losing, you are defeated. But Sanji used to say, doesn't matter if you are defeated, as far as you don't surrender. You can be defeated, but then stand up and walk again and fight again. So that's it. So there is this very beautiful story by sometimes I tell this story in Satsang, by St. Francis of Assisi. He chose to live the toughest life you can imagine, because he used to say, I got married to Madam Poverty. So he came from a well-to-do family. His family in Assisi was one of the well-to-do families, middle class, high middle class family. And once he converted himself, once he had this wonderful spiritual awakening, he chose to live the gospel 100%. So what are the teachings of the gospel? Well, I mean, some of the main teachings. First of all, if you want to follow me, go. Give away everything you have to the poor, leave everything, and come follow me. And don't take with you 2 clothes, 2 dresses. One is enough. And go barefoot. And don't provide anything for tomorrow. Just what's enough for today. So this is a Christian. And he took it very seriously. And he decided that this is the way I'm going to live this my religion. This is my way of life. I'm going to stick 100% to this. So, of course, if you live like that and you live, he's not in Middle East, he's not in India, where it's warm the whole year. He was living in Umbria, in Assisi. And at those times, winter would be very cold. And he would, he would be barefoot. And sometimes very hungry. And there is this story. Once with Frate Leone, who was his constant companion when he was traveling, they were moving from Assisi to another convent, to another monastery. And at some point, it began raining and being cold. It was winter, and they were all wet and walking. And so he told Frate Leone, Frate Leone, what do you think to be the perfect joy? Letizia, we say in Italian, which means light-hearted attitude, joyful attitude. So he said, Francesco, I think that if we now reach the monastery and they welcome us and give us food and they have a fire by which we can warm our bones, then I will feel so joyful. That will give me perfect joy. And he said, oh, Frate Leone, oh, Brother Leone, you are so small. I tell you, what would be the perfect joy? If now we reach the monastery and we knock at the door and we say, we are Frate Francesco and Frate Leone, please welcome us. And they will say, oh, we don't believe that you are such. So we think you are some thieves that want to steal away the small bread that we have. So they will come out with a stick, give us a good beating, and throw us out and don't allow us to go in. And yet keep being joyful and grateful, then that would be perfect joy. So, I mean, this tells a lot about the attitude that a seeker of truth should have. I mean, we can face very tough situations in life in so many ways, economically, with family, with children, with parents, with the things which most we value in our life. They could be taken away from us, as Master Pali is telling here in this part which I read before. So even then, we should not become depressed. We should not despair and understand that what do I have to learn from this? What's the teaching here? And try to learn and improve the quality of your person and become a free person. Because what's a free person? We talk so much about freedom. What is freedom? What is freedom? Freedom is it for most of the people doing whatever you like doing, whatever your instincts, your emotions, your sensations, your desires want. So I am free because I can satisfy all my desires. That's not freedom. That's to be a slave of yourself. Freedom it is having the capacity to leave any situation without wanting it to be any different, with full acceptance, accepting life with open arms, in whichever shape and form it comes. That's freedom. And there is a saying of Rumi, if you want to be free, give up completely your freedom. So how do you give up completely your freedom? In my understanding, I gave up completely my freedom by relying completely on my master and by obeying everything he told me. So I didn't go with my wishes. Many times my wishes would be to to escape from those demanding situations and responsibilities. But I never did. I always obeyed the master. So I gave up my freedom. And that's how you become free. Because then you work for a higher cause, for a higher value, and not just for satisfying your desires, your small personality, your small wishes. So when we are on the path, we may go through very tough situations. And I've gone, as I said before, through very tough situations. You may go through diseases which are very tough, with apparently no solution, and lots of suffering for so many years. Let's say a disease comes to you, or comes to your partner in life, or to your children. What do? You have to face it and find a solution. And maybe through that situation you will learn so much in the process of going through the healing, coming to the healing point of the disease. You will have to meet so many people, so many doctors, so many therapists, so many things, and in the process you may learn a lot. So also in my life, at some point my wife became, she developed a very heavy migraine, terrible migraine, really, which began in a certain form, and then it kept growing and becoming worse and worse, and so life became quite difficult. I had to do everything. She was able to do nothing. I had to care about the ashram, about the family, about making the money for the family, everything. And she, poor one, she was really unable to do anything. And this lasted for 13 years. So in the process, at some point, because I took her to some doctors and therapists, and since I knew very well the origin of and the cause of her problem and the intensity of her problem and how it was, I understood right away that these people were understanding nothing of her problem. They were giving suggestions which were of no use because they didn't meet the situation. They were not helpful. So at some point I thought, maybe I should try to help her myself. So somebody taught me something about therapy, sort of massage. So I decided I'm going to try with her. I didn't really know the technique. I just learned something. But I thought, just as something that I remember, I'm going to apply it to her and see what happens. So one day I told her, would you like to try this? Let's see if it helps you. She said, okay, let's try. So we tried, and I don't really know what I did, but I just followed my instinct and I did something with her. And such a wave of powerful energy came up, manifested. It was like a wave of divine energy, healing divine energy, which really went through me into her. And after this, whatever I did, I can't even call it a therapy or a massage, it was something instinctive which I did. she went into such a very deep meditation. She went on meditating for 2 or 3 hours, and her headache just disappeared completely. So after I finished doing whatever I did with her, I think I was picking up the olives at that time. So I went to do my work, and after 2-3 hours she came and she said, "Oh my God, Sirio, this was such a blessing. This was so good. I felt so good. And after so many years, I was able to really go into deep meditation. And my headache went away all completely. And I feel so good now." So, so I thought, my God, I don't even know how to do this therapy. And she got so much benefit. So that's how I got into Ayurveda. I began studying Ayurveda. And then eventually I took a course. 3-year course to learn Ayurveda in theory and in practice. And then I began working with people, and I began first of all, I began working with her. Because, anyway, after some time, this headache began coming back. So I gave her another therapy, then another one, and she will feel good for a few hours, for some time, and then it will come back. So I kept insisting, and eventually she got rid completely of it forever. So I thought, my God, this is beneficial. It has been beneficial for her, it will be beneficial for other people. So then I began being invited to one place, to another. Somehow things happen by themselves. Because when you're ready to do something, I mean, the universe is looking for people to help, you know? And if you are good at helping, if you know how to help somebody, you will be used. Situation will be created by which you can help people. So I began to be invited here and there. There was a Satsang in Rome, invited me to work in his place. Somebody interning invited me. And then I went to work in a spa. And that's how I learned to do these therapies, which I've been doing for 20 years. And which have been so effective with so many people. And there have been people that have been coming back to me every week for 20 years because they felt so good. And anyway, hundreds and hundreds of them, people from all possible levels of society I've had to do with. And this has been such a great experience for me because I have come to know so many people, and I've come to know... to understand much more what we human beings are. Not just ordinary people, but also people of very important people, very wealthy people, very artists of all kinds of people. So I've been working with all these kind of people. And it's been a great experience for me because I've understood so much of the nature of how this body works, how the mind works, and how to be able to be effective with the therapy I was doing with anybody. So this is an example of how you should never, but whatever happens into your life, never think it's a bad something, that you're being punished. Always think that it's a lesson. It's a situation by which you have to improve yourself, learn something, so that you become a better quality person. And most of the time, the toughest the situation, the biggest the growth. Mind you, of course you have to survive. It has to be tough enough that you survive it.
Well,
and you don't not crash by it.
Yeah, survive at least to keep the sane mind.
Yes, a sane mind.
That's very important.
A healthy mind, yes.
Well, it's very interesting that you said, because of course one can't help but be subjective. No, I always think of my life, and I mean we all try to understand what you say, for sure. Also those who listen to the podcast, not only me. So everybody thought something. That what does it mean? What you said? I thought of my life that well, I referred so many times about my son. He also mentioned that he was born premature, and those who are interested, they can read an article written by me in volume 3 of Sirius magazine. So then you can get a glimpse into it. But just to say, when he was so small and the situation was so desperating, and he was in hospital and me with him, and it was already more than 3 months he's being in hospital, and so many things we had gone through. And there were other mothers, other children, but they didn't have so much troubles like me, but there was another one who had at least as much or more than my son. And with that mom, we were always the ones who were really joyful. We were always laughing. And we understood we were laughing also for this, because they did consider us like the mad ones a little bit, because then we said terrible things. And then, when that happened, and then we were laughing at it. And they took us as strange, the nurses, and like
stupid,
like the mad ones, really. Then I also thought that, well, it was really a great teaching, because then even now when something gets tough, then like a click in my head, then it feels like one begins to laugh. Because then it's okay, I am stuck and I give up. It's just so difficult and better to laugh, because then you can choose either to weep or laugh. Then I choose to laugh. And I remember also, as you said, that one has to become mad in the love of God. And somehow it's like St. Francis said these things. And when one is chosen to do something, no matter that you like it or don't like it, but you are taught the lesson. And if you learn, well and good. And if you don't, then you end up being crushed. So then maybe if you learn the lesson, it's a little bit like you get infected by this kind of holy madness, by this kind of attitude. But now you said one aspect of your life, you told us, which is very interesting and very beautiful. And actually what else I wanted to add is very interesting, what a synchronicity in this, because when my son was small, even in a hospital, then I began to learn therapies, because I was always thinking how to help him, because he had so much problems, he really needed help. So he really is a person who started life, that he was the judgment for him that he would never walk, never talk. He might be deaf, blind, but he didn't seem to me. I saw like the sparkle of grace in his eyes, that kind of light in his eyes, that he was looking at me. I felt to be connected to him. So I tried to pull out that thing of him which nobody saw in him but me. And I began to learn therapies for this. And it's very interesting. I almost feel ashamed to say that I have some university degrees, even more of them. I don't say the numbers better. And I was working at very good places. So I was doing a totally different thing in my life. And now that I'm in Italy, actually I make my living doing those therapies, which I have learned when he was so small. Just I was never thinking. I was the one to go for therapies and to receive them, and not the one to do them. But I always had this attitude of liking to help, and now I'm put into this situation. So the pattern did repeat here. And so then it's very nice that you could help your wife. But you said that this difficult period with the migraines did last for 13 years. And on the spiritual side of your life, we stopped the other time at 84, when Sanji was here, gave the program. So then I imagine that your wife, Irena, she had these problems, then she couldn't even meditate, maybe with you, and go to programs with Sanji, but we know that you were still going and doing things.
she was always very nice anyway, because even if she couldn't come, because she couldn't really, being in a retreat, sometimes when she said in meditation, this migraine of her became even worse. So she couldn't really meditate. She was repeating Simran, yes, but not really sitting in meditation. So she couldn't go to a program with Sanji. Also when we had retreats here, she couldn't attend most of the time. Just sometimes she came when she felt better. Because there were periods in which she felt better. So she would cope better with situations, with our situations here. But she never stood on my way of going to Rajasthan and going to India. She always understood that my going for retreats with the master were always a blessing for me, and through me also for her and for the family anyway. So I always, every year, I went to Rajasthan in 1981. I went to Rajasthan. First time Sanji gave a retreat in 16 PS, because in 1980 he moved from 77 RB to 16 PS. He built this ashram there during the summer, and in September we began having retreats there at this 16 PS. So the very first retreat which was given at 16 PS, I was there and I attended that retreat. Then, of course, 1982, 1983, and then every year I was going. Yes, every year. Sometimes I went to London also when he was giving programs in London. Once for sure, but I think twice I went. And yes, twice I went. And like this it went on. And then we had all these many retreats here at the ashram. We had at least 5 or 6 retreats every year here at the ashram. And those were also very intense. Even the mass physically was not present, but yet the full manifestation of his power was always present. And they were very intense, really. And anyway, that's how my life went on. As I think I said last time, I was getting up every morning at 3 o'clock, meditating from 3 up to 7:30, and then go to work. And then in the evening again, I would meditate and I would take care of this place. So that's how my life went on for all those many years. Then in 1988, when I was in India, again, Sanji told me that next year he would be coming for a tour in North America, South America, and if you want to have a program in Europe, if I'm ready to organize it. And I said, yes, sure. And I told him the plans which I had to improve the situation here. We wanted to build a house for him, which was not available before. He bought the times he came here, 84 and 80. He stayed in my house. So I told him, we are going to build a house for you, and we will do this and that and that. And he was very happy with my proposals. So he said, go ahead with your plans. And so this we may talk about it at next time. And also I would like to read some accounts which I wrote in some of these retreats which I was attending in India. So next time we can proceed with these some of the programs which I attended in India, and then this other Sanji's visit here at the ashram in 1988, which was really the high point for this ashram, in which occasion it really became an ashram, I can say. Before that, it was more kind of my place in which I would invite my friends, but at that point it really became an ashram. So this we can talk about next time.
So much just to make the appetite for this next episode. Then so much that Russell Perkins wrote in this Sandvani magazine, which you mentioned that maybe I don't quote properly, but something like the Sandvani ashram is one of the most beautiful places on this earth.
Yes,
the Sandvani ashram in Italy, I mean.
That's how he begins his account for that program. Yeah.
Yeah, you can read this article actually in volume 2 of Sirius magazine as well, which is available on the SirioSatsang.com website. So, okay, thank you very much, dear Master, for sharing all these insights of your life with us and your observations on life. And next episode, as always, comes after 2 weeks. And don't miss to listen to Daily Guidance daily. Read the Sirius magazine, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can enjoy live satsangs and many other videos with Master Sirio. And if you have any questions or anything to say to me, then you're most welcome to contact me at siriopodcast@gmail.com. And don't miss to subscribe to all the channels so that you can get all the information which you might be interested in. God bless you, and then let's listen to the beautiful mantra sang by Master Sirio.
Hazur Maharaj Sanji, you're my Sadgurus, I bow down to you. Hazur Maharaj Sanji, you're my Sadgurus, I love you. Hazur Maharaj Sanji, you're my Sadguru,